Welcome to English Store. The crystal chandeliers cast a warm glow across the marble floors of the Grand Meridian Hotel as 42-year-old Victoria Sterling prepared for what would become the most revealing social experiment of her career. As the founder of Sterling Philanthropies, Victoria had built her billion-dollar foundation on the principle that true character was revealed not in moments of abundance, but in how people chose to use unexpected resources. Tonight's charity gala was the perfect setting for her latest initiative. Among the 200 guests in elegant evening wear, Victoria had carefully selected 4 individuals from vastly different backgrounds, each unknowing participants in a test that would change their lives forever. At the registration desk, she observed her 4 chosen participants arriving for what they believed was simply another fundraising event. There was Margaret Blackwood, a prominent socialite known for her lavish lifestyle and sharp tongue. Dr. Sarah Chen, a respected surgeon whose reputation for excellence was matched only by her reputation for cold professionalism. James Morrison, a successful attorney who had built his career on high-profile cases and aggressive tactics. And finally, there was David Rodriguez. David stood out among the formal evening wear in his simple navy blue shirt and dark jeans. At 38, he worked as a maintenance supervisor for the hotel. But tonight, he was here with his 8-year-old daughter, Emma, who clutched her worn teddy bear and gazed up at the chandeliers with wonder. David had won 2 tickets to the gala through an employee raffle, and he had brought Emma because he couldn't afford a babysitter and wanted her to see something beautiful. Victoria approached each participant individually, presenting them with identical black credit cards embossed only with a simple gold number. "Good evening," she said to Margaret first. "I'm conducting a study on generosity and human nature. This card has no spending limit. You have 24 hours to use it however you choose. The only requirement is that you must spend at least $10,000. Margaret's eyes lit up with excitement as she examined the card. "What's the catch?" "No catch. I'm simply curious to see how different people approach unexpected abundance." Victoria repeated the same offer to Dr. Chen, then to James, and finally to David, who looked at the card with confusion and concern. "Ma'am, I think there's been a mistake," David said quietly, glancing around at the elegantly dressed crowd. "I'm just here with my daughter because we won tickets in the employee raffle. I'm not supposed to be part of whatever this is." "There's no mistake," Victoria replied with a gentle smile. "The offer is the same for everyone. 24 hours, no spending limit. Minimum $10,000. David looked down at Emma, who was listening with the intense concentration children bring to adult conversations they sense are important. "I don't understand why me." "Because I believe in giving everyone the same opportunity to show who they really are," Victoria said simply. Over the next 24 hours, Victoria discreetly monitored how each participant used their unexpected windfall. Margaret immediately headed to the city's most exclusive shopping district, spending $18,000 on designer handbags, jewelry, and a pair of shoes that cost more than many people's monthly salary. Her social media posts throughout the day documented each purchase with captions about treating herself and living her best life. Dr. Chen used her card to purchase a collection of rare medical textbooks and equipment for her private practice. Spending exactly $10,000 with the precision she applied to surgery. Her choices were practical and self-serving, focused entirely on advancing her own professional standing. James spent his allocation on a first-class vacation package to an exclusive resort, upgrading his hotel suite and purchasing expensive wine for an upcoming client entertainment event. Every dollar was calculated to enhance his image and business prospects. David's approach was entirely different. For the first several hours, he didn't use the card at all. Instead, he sat in his small apartment with Emma, researching children's charities and local organizations that helped struggling families. Emma helped him make lists, her 8-year-old handwriting carefully copying addresses of food banks and homeless shelters. "Papa, are we going to help other kids who don't have enough food?" Emma asked as they worked together at their kitchen table. "If we can, Mija, if this is real, then maybe we can do something good with it." David's first purchase was $1,000 worth of groceries, which he and Emma delivered to the local food bank where he had once received help during his most difficult months as a new single father. The staff was amazed by the unexpected donation, but David simply said that someone had given him the opportunity to pay forward the kindness he had once received. His second stop was the children's hospital where Emma had been treated for pneumonia the previous year. David donated $5,000 to their family assistance fund, specifically requesting that it help parents who couldn't afford to stay in the city while their children received treatment. At a local elementary school in an underserved neighborhood, David purchased $3,000 worth of books, art supplies, and educational materials. He spent the afternoon helping teachers organize the new resources while Emma read stories to kindergarten students. His final purchase broke Victoria's heart when she learned about it later. David had used the remaining money to establish a small scholarship fund at the community college where he had been taking night classes, hoping someday to earn his engineering degree. The scholarship was designated specifically for single parents pursuing education while working full-time. When the 24 hours ended, Victoria arranged to meet each participant to discuss their experience. Margaret showed off her new purchases with obvious satisfaction. "I've always believed that you have to take care of yourself first," she explained. "How can you help others if you don't invest in your own happiness?" Dr. Chan was equally pleased with her practical choices. "I chose to invest in tools that will allow me to better serve my patients. Professional development is always the wisest investment." James was confident in his business-focused approach. "Networking and image are everything in my field. These investments will pay dividends for years to come." When Victoria met with David at a quiet coffee shop, Emma was coloring at the table beside them while David nervously explained his choices. "I kept thinking it might be some kind of mistake or test," he admitted. "But Emma and I decided that if someone was willing to trust us with that much money, we should use it the way we would want someone to use it if they were helping us." "Tell me about the scholarship fund," Victoria said gently. David's eyes grew emotional. "When Emma's mother died, I had to drop out of school to take care of her and work full-time. I've been trying to go back ever since, taking one class at a time when I can afford it. I know there are other parents in the same situation, trying to build better lives for their kids, but not having the resources to do it quickly." Victoria looked at this man who had been given unlimited spending power and had chosen to use almost all of it to help others, keeping nothing for himself except the hope that someday other parents might have easier paths than he had. "David, I need to tell you something. This wasn't just a random experiment. I've been observing character and generosity for years, trying to understand what motivates people to help others versus helping themselves." David looked confused. "So, it was a test." "It was an opportunity," Victoria corrected. "And you've shown me something remarkable." She pulled out a business card and handed it to him. "Sterling Philanthropies is always looking for people who understand the real purpose of resources. We need someone to oversee our community outreach programs, someone who knows what it means to need help and what it feels like to be in a position to provide it." David stared at the card. "You're offering me a job. I'm offering you a career. Director of Community Relations, starting salary, $90,000, full benefits, and an education assistance program that will help you finish your engineering degree while you work." Emma looked up from her coloring. "Papa, does this mean you can go to school and help people at the same time?" "I think it might, Mija," David said, his voice thick with emotion. 6 months later, David stood in the conference room of Sterling Philanthropies presenting the quarterly report on their expanded community programs. Under his leadership, They had established partnerships with 12 food banks, created 3 new scholarship programs, and developed a support network for single parents that was being replicated in other cities. Emma sat in the back of the room during his presentation, carefully coloring a picture of her father in his new office. She had drawn him surrounded by stick figures, representing all the families they were helping, with hearts floating above everyone's heads. Victoria watched from her seat at the conference table, remembering the night when she had given 4 people the same opportunity, and discovered that only one had understood that true wealth isn't measured by what you accumulate, but by what you share. The black credit cards had been returned, but the test had accomplished exactly what Victoria had hoped. It had revealed that character isn't about the circumstances you're born into, but about the choices you make when given the power to change circumstances for others. Margaret, Drive, Chen, and James had each received thank you notes for participating in the experiment, along with information about Sterling Philanthropy's mission, hoping that seeing David's choices might inspire them to reconsider their own approach to abundance. But David had received something far more valuable: the opportunity to transform his natural generosity into a career that would allow him to help others while building the future he had always dreamed of. For Emma, the experiment had proven Victoria's long-held belief that the most trustworthy people to manage resources are often those who have experienced scarcity because they understand both the value of what they've been given and the responsibility that comes with the power to make others' lives better. Sometimes the greatest test of character isn't how you handle adversity, but how you handle abundance. And sometimes the people who deserve resources the most are precisely those who would use them not to elevate themselves but to lift others up alongside them. If this story reminded you that true wealth is measured not by what we accumulate but by what we share, please give it a like and share it with someone who might need this message about the power of generosity. Subscribe for more stories about unexpected opportunities and the beautiful ways that helping others creates the most meaningful kind of success. And please comment below about a time when you had the opportunity to help others, or when someone's generosity changed your perspective on what really matters. Your story might inspire someone else to choose giving over